Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again on this platform where we tell you undiluted truth. There is this woman in the UK, the Conservative Party leader, that happened to be a Nigerian, who had been dragged back and forth, not just by Nigerians, but even Nigerian government, for saying something many considered outrageous.
This is the past. We need to talk about the future. There are many countries now who want to use guilt to try and exploit the UK. They ask for reparations. I saw it as a trade minister. It's not culture wars. I was at the WTO. I won't name the minister from another country. And he was telling me that we needed to give up some of the things that we were doing because of colonialism and because they needed time to develop. These arguments are a scam. Don't fall for it. We need to make sure that we put this country first. We work well with our neighbors. We work well with other countries, but we have to look after ourselves too.
Well, I mean, those advocating for reparations would say, shouldn't we just make up for some of the damage we did through the slavery? As a black woman saying that, they may find that hard to understand from you.
Well, there are many things that the British Empire got wrong, but there are many amazing things that the British Empire also did. And we need to be honest about that and stop pretending that it was all bad. The British Empire ended slavery, the Atlantic slave trade. We need to talk about that more.
Good. Since after her statement, I've gone through that. I've taken time because since a couple of days now this has been happening. I've been trying to figure out exactly why this woman took this position. First, to snub this government of impunity led by Tinubu.
You see, it depends if she identifies, you see, as the Nigerianness in her, you know. We've reached out to her once or twice without any response. So we don't force people to accept to being Nigerian. So if you appreciate the Nigerianness in you and you want to work with us, we're open to everybody, but we cannot force you to appreciate the Nigerianness in you. You remember the Miss Universe Nigeria in South Africa? She until she got into a little problem with South Africa, and she identified with Nigeria, came to Nigeria, we hosted her, received her warmly. Right. Listen, as long as that blood in you, you're Nigerian. So it's that to Kemi to decide whether she appreciates the Nigerianness in her, whether she wants to work with Nigeria, but we'll be glad to, but we cannot force anybody. There are some who will tell you that, no, I don't like that, your country. We can't force them, but we work with thousands of millions of Nigerians who are proud to be Nigerian despite the challenges, and we believe that no matter what, we are simply the best in the world. And despite our challenges, we'll get to where we truly belong, the top of the mountain.
After Abike came to, grandstand the snub on national TV, I took more interest in understanding what exactly did this woman do wrong. First, she doesn't want to associate herself with a government like the one we have in Nigeria today. And come to think of it, what Nigeria is going through is exactly what triggered her anger to say what she said, if you don't mind. When she said that you don't blame your colonial masters for your backwardness. And I agree with her to a large extent. Understanding the fact that Nigeria and the rest of African countries have always shown out the worst of individuals to lead them, to be their presidents. How do you expect never-do-wells, people with questionable character? We know how the system of Nigeria and the rest of Africa that shone out the worst of us to become leaders in Africa. And then we turn back to blame colonial masters that have left decades ago. In as much as I know that Britain in particular, that British Empire, committed a lot of atrocities across the world, including other colonial masters. They committed a lot of atrocities, not only in Africa, but across other places. But come to think of it, India is one of the countries that were colonized by Britain. India, let me just start from there. India was colonized by Britain. Today, India has gone ahead, far ahead of Nigeria and many other African countries. They are not dragging their colonial masters up to today. Why Africa? America, if you don't mind, was colonized by Britain. Yes, America you are hearing today was once colonized by Britain. Are they still dragging their colonial masters? That is the point of view I see her comment coming from. And Nigerians are dragging her back and forth, saying that she has denied her identity and have embraced the colonial identity. How many of you have not embraced colonial identity? Tell me. How many of you that have not pledged allegiance to British authority, to British citizenship? What's the difference? It's not a bad thing, to be honest with you. It's not a bad thing at all. Okay? But what are you doing to contribute meaningfully? When the woman said she doesn't want to associate with the kind of government you have in Nigeria today, knowing fully well how it came about, why will you be dragging her? And some people, some victims of the same government of Nigeria are dragging her on the social media, saying that the only thing that is remaining of, dropping a lot of comments against this woman, that the only thing that is remaining is for them to mine her skull and the rest of them. She didn't say anything outrageously wrong completely. The only thing is that I understand the fact that she is a leader in her party. She has to say what she got to say. Is a politically correct statement that she made there. And you see how all of them were very happy with that statement. But look deep down inside it, you will see sincerity. I kept saying it. We Africans, we fix Africa by ourselves. Don't expect any person from outside Africa to fix Africa. Britain will always look for her control of African resources through her government. It is you that have the right to say no. It's a simple thing. Just like at the time when and in fact, let me just, when she mentioned slave trade and the rest of them as one of those wonderful things British did, that is where I don't agree with her at all. Because I know very well, yes, Britain were at the helm of slave trade. And they were the ones that said enough of slave trade. It is not a credit to them, to be honest with you, because I understood it very well. While I was still a student in the UK, I had an assignment that opened my eyes deeper to understand what they call triangular trade. If you have heard about that before in the course of my study. The ships from the UK to Africa take slaves to America. Then they cultivate in the farm plantations and the resources repatriated back to Britain. That is what is called triangular trade. And after they saw, especially when my own people resisted slave trade, and they were recounting losses upon losses upon losses. You remember when some Igbo slaves drowned themselves in America? And the rest of, so they now started counting losses and losses and losses in slave trade, and discovered that they can actually not carry these people out from slavery in Africa, that they can go to their homeland and enslave them. That was how they ended slave trade and introduced colonialism. So they ended slave trade not because of humanity. No, it is because of expansion of their business and control of territories that are never theirs. So when she is mentioning slave trade, just take a look at it. It was during the end of the slave trade that colonial activity started. That is the truth. So we have to face the history very squarely. So that's where she got it wrong. So completely wrong. I disagree with her on that. Okay? So once some of us who understood some of these things are speaking, Africans should be learning and understanding it. Make your own research. So let me not just stick too much on this, and allow you to drop your comment and let me have your opinion on this. Do you still drag her? Do you agree with her? At what point do you agree or disagree with her statement? And are you ready to join GGM in this campaign and crusade to free Africans from bad governance? I still remain as Suchinadu Peters, the advocate for good governance. Bye-bye for now.